Hey, what's going on, people? Woo! Woo! Joey-Pegasus Finals! Who's excited? Who's here? Who's here now? Probably not a lot of people in right now. Um, they'll roll in. They'll roll in. For anyone that is watching, uh, this was the Joey-Pegasus Tournament held in the Joey-Pegasus server, hosted by Soul Emerald 69. This is actually a bit of a fundraiser too, a minor one, but a good one. Uh, Basically, this was a double elimination bracket, as you can see over here. It's basically a double elimination. You play until you lose twice. So, for both players, for all the players, they participate for the prize of the Millenium Champion title, or that sort of thing. Whatever the title is, I have to double check again, didn't do much of the homework. I'm just hosting for Soul because, and B-Stocks was away. Anyway, as also, they're getting $10 towards donating to a charity of their choice, so it's actually a bit of a charity stream. It's something new for the whole retro DMR community. That's really great. It's nothing new for the Yu-Gi-Oh as a whole, but it's nice to have more of these promotions. Anyway, I'm your host, BJ Darkness. You see me around on Discord. I'm on the YFC server, and I've taken the reins on the stream because I thought it'd be a lot of fun. And we got a very exciting finals in here with as you saw in the title, GBO and JCVD 93. Let's have a quick look at these two guys coming in. GBO is coming in from the winner's bracket here. And he is quite an accomplished retro format player. He has won not one, not two, but 3 YFZ titles. He has won the tournaments for Fiber format, Vampire, and Android, the one we had earlier this year. So he is looking to claim the title for Joey-Pegasus, that format in between. This isn't a YFZ tournament, but he is looking to claim more of those DM era titles. He's an incredibly accomplished player. He's been a champion many times. You can see a repeated topping player. He's come his way from the winner's bracket, so he has yet to lose. His goal is to simply keep JCVD from sweeping away the title or drawing you out to it. Speaking of him, we have JCVD himself here coming in as the competitor. He's coming in for the loser's bracket. He got knocked down, unfortunately, but he's pushing his way back up. He's fought through that lower bracket to get to the finals. He is an accomplished GOAT format player, best known for his Chaos Control, as noted by this Dark Magician of Chaos profile picture. He has several topping events in GOAT format tournaments, and he's even been runner-up a few times in some of the DM era ones. In our YFC4 Android tournament, he was the runner-up, having just come in short up to Brockett. And so that's really exciting to see these two guys hash it out. That's the rundown of the finals. I'm very excited to see this. We're going to see what's going to happen. Is GBO going to defend this title and become the champion, or is JCVD going to come in and take it away from him? Enough idle prater and chit chat. I'm going to let these guys know that I'm heading over. I have dumb intros. And we'll get some tunes in momentarily. I'm just gonna log the classic DB stream. I'm just gonna log back in real quick. Alright guys, hope you're ready. I'm gonna find these guys. We're ready for a game. Are you guys ready?
And now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
That was my intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, we
Oops. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into this game right away. Just, these guys wanted to start a little bit sooner, and I felt we're not jump right into the action. This is a time-sensitive event, so... Sorry, I'm just writing to myself. I'm just gonna light my camera real quick. We're gonna get into the... We're gonna let these guys duke it on the RPs. Oh, it looks like JCVD is gonna win these RPs right off the bat. He's gonna come in hot. He's taking that, he's gonna go for this immediately. Seriously. There we go. Now I can actually watch it. Soul in the chat says go up to the duelist. JCVD is gonna start off. Set monster, set 2 back row. He's gonna pass it back. Oh, he's gonna pass back over the GBO. We're not facing hammer. GBO's gonna come in. He's not under the pressure of the. He's not under the hand rips. Didn't fall for the charity, at least not right away. The duel is gonna be dropped. That's gonna put GBO to 7,000. It's gonna knock 2 cards out of GBO's hand. Does JCVD have a response? Oh, the Imperial Order is gonna be dropped. The Imperial Order is coming in right away. The Imperial Order is gonna set up things up. JCVD's got GBO under locks. Looks like he does not have an answer. General is going to come in. It's going to attack the set monster. It's going to hit a tomato. JCVD is going to get a monster out of the deck. Oops, I messed up my camera orientation. There we go. JCVD going to pull out a dark monster with 1500 attack or less from the deck. JCVD coming into that control style. He's a very methodical player. He's gonna think very critically about the card he pulls out of the deck. Gonna summon a witch out to the board. That's gonna let him potentially set up possibly a Jinzo summon, or it's gonna set up just another line of defense. Standby phase. JC's gonna think about that Imperial Order cost. Does he risk dropping the Imperial Order to go for a play, or is he gonna keep it up and keep GBO under locks? Having it set up for multiple turns can eat away at the player's life points, so JCVD he's gonna keep it up and gonna keep GBO out of the spell card access. Thinking critically about the 2 back row. The Gemini Elf is gonna come in. Looks like JCVD could be coming to crash the elves and hit with Witch directly, gonna pressure him. Oh, he's very cautious of the Mirror Force. Gonna have the Gemini also gonna crash. They're both gonna go down. That's gonna pass it back over to GBO. GBO still under that IO. Possibly losing access to several spells in hand and or on the field. The Jar of Greed's gonna come out. He's gonna have some drawing power while under the Imperial Order. Gonna set up that graveyard for banishes like Kaiku, Bazoo, and Skull Lair. This is a format where, as many of you know, being redundant at this point, is where Kaiku, Bazoo, and Skull Lair, they have their broken effects. They can banish any card, not just monsters. This lasts about until the Yada format that comes in. So for several formats, they're gonna have their irregularly stronger effects. GBO gonna take a hard think about this too. The Kaiku's gonna come out. He's possibly just going to want to clear this Witch to keep monsters off the board. Oh, the Call of the Honda's going to be flipped up. He's going to go for an aggressive push here. You're going to have to play aggressive under this Imperial Order to force JCVD to drop it sooner. The Witch is going to be hit to the graveyard. JC's going to get a monster out of his deck. Possibly looking for a Gemini Elf to clear out the Kaiku. Or possibly look up to set up a defense. He could also probably dig out the Sinister Serpent from the deck. Number of options disposal, Witch being such a flexible card and almost a must-stay and a mainstay in every deck. synergizes incredibly well with cards like Jinzo, cards like Call the Haunted, any like Monster Reborn, Resurrection effects, you name it. These are effects are their pre-errata and they are not once per turn. You can just pull off Sangan Witch multiple times. JCVD is going to be thinking very critically, as he always does. I'll try not to be redundant. Try not to be too redundant about the thinking critically. These are why these guys are in these finals. These are why these guys are successful players. They're thinking not 1, 2, but 3 turns ahead of what they're doing. It's where the chess mentality comes in. But always have to consider the RNG. That's why it's not pure chess. He's going to pull out the Kaiku of his own, possibly looking to set up his own push. The Kaiku, the opponent, GBO's Kaiku is going to come and hit JCVD. He's going to knock 2 cards out of the graveyard. Looking to clear that Witch, clear that Tomato. He's going to lose access to those cards. Not afraid of the Gemini Elf in the graveyard. He's going to set 1 more card, pass it back over to JC. GBO operating incredibly well under this Imperial Order. If he had a spell lineup, he would have been in a lot more trouble. But with GBO having a bigger trap lineup, it's going to be a lot better for him. It's going to be a lot more manageable for him if he's under Imperial Order like this. Which is a very important factor in this formats, like any formats essentially with IO running around. You have to consider how you can operate under it. Looks like the IO is going to be dropped. JCV not wanting to lose any more life points, or possibly having a setup play his own spells. He's possibly looking to get his own Kaiku on the board, clearing out the opponent's board. Both players relatively even card counts, but we see GBO has a setup on the field. But if that Call of the Hunt is destroyed, he is going to lose that. He's going to lose that Gemini Elf. That Kaiku is going to come in, possibly looking to crash the 2, or he's possibly going to Raigeki to throw on the board, probably baiting out the Torrential Tribute, possibly. Incredible, even in a format that's considered high aggro, fast paced with the double Graceful Charity, there's a lot of critical thinking that has to take place. There's a lot of that Raigeki's going to come out. He was baiting. Looks like he was looking for that Torrential Tribute. Not worried about that. GBO's going to have his board cleared. Battlefield is coming in. Kaiku's going to go for a direct blow. It's going to hit GBO successfully. He's going to lose those 2 cards out of the graveyard. That Kaiku's going to go out. That Gemini Elf is going to go out. That's going to pass over to GBO. GBO now having access to spell cards again. This could result in some trouble for JCVD, depending on the cards he has. GBO is going to set 1. Going to pass back over. JC standby phase, main phase. Looking at T-pose set. Well, almost T-pose. The card is offset, but you know what I mean. The Nox going to come out. Is going to banish that Mystic Tomato. Is going to lose another card to the banish zone. That Kaiku's going to go for another direct hit. GBO is going to be knocked down. He's going to lose out to 2 more of his cards. Very important that the players always banish some cards from the opponent's graveyard, if anything. Does not want to give graveyard setup for cards like Bazoo, cards like Skull Lair. And that's right, Soul. There's no IO from GBO at this point. But GBO could end up drawing it. However, GBO is at incredibly low life points, so it's hard to determine how beneficial the IO may be. But given the situation, because he's only at 3,400 life points. The Graceful Charity is going to be dropped. We're going to come in. We're getting our charities on the board. Woohoo! Woohoo! First charity coming out. That's right. I came with both my Graceful Charities. You see, Soul? I came with both of them ready. It's a Joey-Pegasus stream. We get some Joey-Pegasus cards. Look. I even got my Sinister Serpent ready for this occasion. Oh, that Painful Choice is going to be dropped in. Graceful Charity is going to drop a Serpent. Going to drop a Jinzo. Painful Choice is going to dig out the hand rips. Going to have these hand rips going to come out. The Porcelain Sentry, Confiscation. Pot of Greed. Imperial Order. There's the Imperial Order that come in. Speak of the man himself. And we're going to have the second copy of Graceful Charity. Oh, we saw 2 already. Woohoo, woohoo. Double Charity is nice. Double Charity is nice. Very critical what JCVD is going to give GBO. Does he want to give GBO more deck access? Imperial Order might be the choice for JCVD if he has a Mystical Space Typhoon ready. That, JCVD does give him the order. It just tells that JCVD might have an answer, may not be worried about this IO if he has cards like MST, as I mentioned. Or that Monster Reborn's gonna be Monster Reborn's gonna pop out, is gonna summon that Jinzo to the board. Jinzo getting discarded off the Graceful Charity. That trap card, that possible trap card that JCVD has is gonna be nulled. That Jinzo's gonna come in, is gonna smack the Kaiku out. GBO's Kaiku's gonna come in, is gonna banish the 2 from the graveyard. Main phase 2. GBO swinging the game back. JCVD is down to 3,100. GBO's 34. Already a very intense first game. And very important securing this first game in the match, because if that person wins first, if they lose their second game, they are guaranteed to go first in the third game, and they can set up their deck accordingly. JCVD going to come in. That Raigeki's out. He's probably a Dark Hole would be beneficial in the situation, but he's going to have to set one, set another, and pass back over to GBO. That Sinister Serpent's going to be recalled back to the hand. The Harpy's Feather Dust is going to come in. It's going to blow out that back row. That Mystical Space Typhoon is going to be chained in response. Going to hit the IO. All the spell and trap cards are going to be wiped out. Torrential Tribute was dead under Jinzo, so not a total loss for JCVD. Card's going to be set. That Battle Phase is going to come in. Jinzo's going to hit the set. It's going to be a Serpent. The Kaiku's going to come in, possibly going to banish that Serpent, and going to banish another card. The Kaikus are coming out fierce today. Stuff is being banished left and right from both players' fields. Setting a monster. Looks like JCVD may not have a way out of this setup. And and there we go. JCVD gonna concede in that first game. GBO commenting whether it was a BM GG or whether it was a I got nothing GG. That is a BM move. I'll tell you guys, it is a BM move. If you say GG and then unload the kill shot in your opponent, that is pretty BM. That's pretty that's a maximum disrespect right there. JCVD gonna have a trouble because he is coming from the lower bracket. He cannot afford to lose any of his matches. GBO still has an extra life because he has not lost in this winner's bracket. Some back and forth gameplay in that first game, very intense. No goats in the end, Sag. There is no scapegoats. I don't think either of these players are running the scapegoat. Scapegoat serving as kind of a niche option in this format, given it can be a way to protect your life points from a push if you're under something like Jinzo. It can protect your graveyard from things like Kaiku. Scapegoat does have its beneficial uses, and it can be comboed with cards like Cannon Soldier, or if you're running cards like Amazoness Archer, but more likely Cannon Soldier. Scapegoat yet to be. I am unsure of whether either player is on the Scapegoat. However, if it was GOAT format, we would be looking at a GOAT definitely from JCVD, given he is a Chaos Control player. We're going to come into this game 2 here. JCVD going to be going first. The GOATs are great in a good pinch, especially in this format, as I had as I just kind of mentioned. If you're under that Jinzo lock, if your graveyard's under pressure by Kaiku, you want some bodies on the board. That Graceful Charity is going to come right away for JCVD. He's going to get that draw 3, thinking about what he's going to drop next. Could JCVD possibly get GBO under another IO lock? GBO's deck proving that it can operate decently under the effects of Imperial Order. Also convenient to not be locked with a bunch of spell cards. It looks like we're going to drop a copy of drop a copy of Witch, drop a copy of MST. Gonna T-pose, Set another back row. That's going to pass back over to GBO. Joey-Pegasus, the real go for it. That comp is going to come down. It's 1,000 life points. And it's another IO. Where's the... Is this deja vu or what? I knew there... GBO under another IO lock. Deja vu indeed. I thought it was 2 Graceful Charities, not 2 Imperial Order locks. This is folks, we're in for a rough one. That Mystic Tomato is going to drop. It's going to hit the opponent's Mystic Tomato. JCVD, once again, is going to be... It's going to pull out either a Witch or another copy. Or possibly... No, the Witch is already in the graveyard. It's going to have to pull a copy of Sangan possibly out. He may also be looking to pull out just another copy of Tomato to set up a Crash without... Not sure how beneficial that would be to JCVD. Probably just looking to get that... No, you looked at that, that second Tomato is going to come to the board. Main phase 2. Setting 2 back row. It's going to pass that over to JCVD. That's it. JCVD going to have to contemplate that 700 life points. Does he have a way to knock down GBO by dropping IO, or is he going to keep GBO under this lock? Very good. Oh, he's going to keep that IO up. Very, very critical for when a player turns off IO, because if their opponent survives, the opponent could just have the wombo combo set of cards needed to win. The tomatoes are going to crash in. We're going to see some tomato splats. GBO getting out the other tomato. This is a clash of the artworks. JCVD rocking the TCG art of Mystic Tomato, while GBO's got the OCG. JCVD is going to trade Tomato in for a Sangan. GBO probably might be looking to clear out the Sangan. Contemplating his next attack. Gonna pass back over, not gonna clear that Sangan. GBO's turn. Drive Greed. Drive Greed, gonna get the extra draw. Tomato's gonna go and knock the Sangan down. Sangan is gonna get that search off. Looking for looking possibly for a Sinister Serpent. Yep, I'm gonna look for that Serpent. JCVD might be setting up a Graceful Charity push. GBO gonna set a card of his own. Gonna end his turn. Stand by. Imperial possibly staying on the board, possibly leaving. He's gonna drop that Imperial Order. He's gonna set up probably a Graceful Charity push, but if GBO has that Imperial Order, it might be shut down. Unless JCVD can respond to that Mystical Space Typhoon to keep that away. We'll see what happens in just a second. That Gemnail's going to come down. Looking to sniff out some of that back row. Looking to sniff out that Torrential Tribute or Trap Hole. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if GBO has or not. I didn't look at all the lists 100%. The Painful Choice is going to come in. That goes through. JCVD gonna dig 5 more cards out of the deck. GBO's gonna add 1 to the hand. I found my copy of Imperial Order. I wanted to show it off earlier. Woo! Look at me, I have all the banned cards at my disposal. JCVD is gonna mill out several cards. Gonna look for that Magician of Faith, Shinzo. He's already normal summoned. The Bazoo. The Trap Hole. This set is from Dark Beginning 1. This is an unlimited rare. This one they did the ultra rare reprints for that set. I've had this one ever since I was like a young lad, so it's followed me around in my binder for many, many years. It's not the secret rare is money, but I'd settle because I dug it out again during the time period when Imperial Order was off the ban list when it had its errata, and of course they had to put it back in. Looks like GBO's gonna give JC that bazoo. Possibly buffering up the set for the next turn. JCVD could have also been looking for the GBO's Imperial Order, so he's contemplating whether firing off. The Gemini Elf's going to come in, smack the tomato. That GBO's going to dig out that another copy from his deck. That's going to be all three of the tomatoes out of the deck for GBO. Main phase 2 is going to come in. Going to set one card, passing back over to GBO. GBO cutting right in. That fissure is going to come and clean out the elf. GBO having no IO to respond to this creep, but does he possibly have another... Does he have another move he can do? As Fissure does not target, therefore if JCVD were to use something like Call the Haunted to resurrect a monster, that monster could possibly eat the Fissure, but... Anticipating the response from JCVD. Is he looking for a Call the Haunted play, or is he going to let the elf just simply fall in? GBO could have an MST to counter the Call the Haunted. JCVD brings it in. JCVD could be on that Psalm. Yeah, that Call the Haunted's going to come out. He's going to respond. JCVD, all he's going to respond to Mystic Space Typhoon. He's going to counter to negate that in Chain Link 3. Solemn could be a possibility. I'm unsure JCVD could be running that copy of Solemn. It is a very risky card to... Solemn Judgment is a very risky card to run in this format. Oh, it looks like the Tomato is going to come in directly. Gonna smack JCVD 1400. Solemn, very risky in this format. You lose a whole chunk of your life points, and that could be a setup for a snatch bazoo play or something like that. Looks like JCVD is going to be under that pressure of that tomato. 1,000 life points short. 5 cards in hand, though. Control style player. Going to be conservative. Origin cards, we're not seeing a... JCVD probably looking for a second Graceful Charity, looking for that some of the power spells to get at GBO with. He has a Sinister Serpent in hand, could be possibly looting that. The MST is going to clear out, is going to get that Torrential off the board. He might be looking to clear that Torrential, get in a summon. The Premature Barrel is going to come out, it's going to be 800 life points, even though JCVD is going to bring back a monster from his graveyard. That Jinzo is going to come out to the board again. Bazoo is going to come. JCVD going to go for a big push. There's no more there aren't any more tomatoes for GBO to dig out. It's going to have to dig out one of the search cards. JCVD going to look for a big chunk of damage. Could be a risky push. The Monster Reborn's going to come in. It's going to go for an even bigger push. He's going to look for... We're gonna look for really to seize control of things. Does he have... He has the Raigeki in the board. Oh my gosh, he's gonna get... He's got the Wombo combo in play. The combination of Reborn, the combination of Raigeki. And GBO is going to get pushed into a Game 3. JCVD keeps himself alive with that big push. The Power Spell Extravaganza. That combination of cards, the combination of cards like Monster Reborn, like Premature Burial, come in with like Change of Heart and Raigeki. You set up a big push and you knock your opponent down. Even if you're at the 5,000 threshold, you're just not safe from these kind of plays. Very important that if you go for, but also very important that if you go for lethal, that you really do go for lethal, as your opponent only needs to draw that 1 or 2 power cards to make that swing back. We're going to come now into this third game. Can JCVD extend it to another match, or will GBO seal the deal once and for all? IO, yes, IO showing its power with JCVD being able, having access to it twice. He may not strike out in this third one, as GBO will be going first. So GBO could be getting that IO lock in for revenge, but we will see. we'll see what happens. With GBO having a bigger trap lineup, this could be is more beneficial for him to be going first. Having those chainables like Time Seal and Jar of Greed, JCVD does have to consider what he's bringing for the side and bringing from the side to the main deck. As we'll be in for an exciting third game for sure. And we are underway. The side decking has been completed. GBO will be starting us off. The Comfy is going to come out with that 1,000 life points to get. He has to see the whole hand and to send that one to the graveyard. Rough start for JCVD, facing one of the hand rips. He's looking at a lineup of Imperial Order. JCVD has drawn Imperial Order in his opening hand 3 times in a row. But GBO is going to knock that Graceful Charity out of GBO's hand. Sorry, out of that JCVD's hand. Getting their name fixed up because pronunciations. Mystic Tomato is going to be dropped on the board. Looks like it's clean. Possibly going to go to attack in. Going to set some cards. Possibly just leaving the Mystic Tomato in the field to bait a push. No, he's going to go into attack to set monster. That's going to hit a tomato of GBO's own. GBO going to get either a tomato or a Sandgame Witch out to his field. Be thinking about this next play. GBO knows about all of JCVD's cards except for one, so he has to think carefully. Main phase 2. Morphing Jar is a possibility. This is why sometimes the players are going to be setting their back row before attacking, as I believe JCVD could be running that Morphing Jar in his lineup. A high risk but high reward card, being able to get 5 back in the hand, especially if you're in a tight situation. GBO going to get that Jar of Greed off. Forceful Sentry, the other hand rip's going to come out. The IO is going to be coming in, but he's got the MST to counter. I'm going to shuffle one of JCVD's cards back into the deck. JCVD losing out on some card advantage there. I'm going to shuffle that Snatch Steel back into the deck. He's still got the Bazooka Soul Eater in hand. JCVD having a little bit of graveyard setup for the Bazoo, but it's too early to drop the Monkey. Lest he suffer a possible Snatch or Change Heartblight. The tomatoes are going to crash. GBO going for the tomato crash. Now is JCVD going to pull out another tomato? He's going to pull out a Sandgame Witch. Is he looking to add some more cards to his hand, or is he possibly just keeping board presence? Already in a low resource situation, JCVD having suffered through 2 of the 3 hand rip treasure cards. With only trading 1-for-1s, and I do believe a Delinquent Duo would have been more devastating in this situation. But the GBO does have like board knowledge. It looks like it could be going for more tomato crashes. Is GBO going to attack and continue crashing to tomatoes? Yes, he is. He's going for the second tomato crash. But this will be GBO's final tomato. He's going to have to summon a Sandgame Witch. He can also choose not to summon anything at all. But I'm not sure to what benefit. The witches are going to come out to play. And if he's not going to crash the witches, he's going to set another card. He's going to pass back over to JCVD. JCVD hopefully drawing something to get him back into the game. It is even card counts. GBO does have the advantage in knowledge. He knows the Bazooka Soul Eaters in hand. Doesn't know possibly about the set Torrential Tribute. It's all about the unknown card. He's going to crash the witches, conserving his normal summon. We're also going to go to the grave. GBO is going to get his search off first. The advantage in this situation is that the GBO will be forced to search his monster first, and then JCVD JCVD can respond to whatever GBO searches out. It is a critical thing. If he chooses to bring out a card like Haiku the Ghost Destroyer, then JCVD can search out Gemini Elf to clash the next turn. But GBO does have 2 set cards that can possibly respond to whatever it is. Well, so he's saying he's going to bring the Sangan out to his hand. He's not going to... And JCVD's going to come out with the Sinister Serpent. It's still JCVD's turn. JCVD's turn. Main phase 2. The Graceful Charity is going to be dropped. Does GBO have an IO? No, it's going to be clean. That Graceful Charity is going to dig out some cards from the deck. A methodical move by JCVD. Getting that Sinister Serpent for the discard fodder. Digging into the deck, saving him from the hand rip palooza. I don't have a better word for it. Do you guys? The Treasure Trove. Speaking of Treasure Trove, there will be another Treasure Tournament on the Treasure server coming up, hosted by Mr. Hylian93. Oh, Hylian93. Charity's gonna drop that Sinister Serpent in the bazoo. Gonna set that monster, possibly that no, not serpent. Possibly setting something. Solid +1 of JCVD, yep, that was very critical play, but GBO still has a bit of the advantage of 5 cards to 4. Damn it, Sol, I wish you were in the booth. Anyway. Oh well, it's fine. Happy to have you in chat. The Sangan's gonna come in. Gonna have a swipe at that set monster. It's possibly JCVD's own Sangan. Oh, yes it is. JC is gonna get that search off. GBO could have that, GBO could have Delinquent Duo and be possibly setting up JCVD to get that final hand. That Magician of Faith is going to come out of the deck. JCVD rocking 3 copies of Magician of Faith. GBO is going to set 3 back row cards. He's going to pass back over to JC. JC is going to recall the Sinister Serpent. Boom. This is a Stairway to the Destined Duel copy of Sinister Serpent in that shiny secret rare. It's not very good to see on the camera, but picked this up for decent price, honestly. It's like pretty much near mint. JCVD is going to set of cards, possibly the Serpent. Pass back over to GBO. Both players have relatively high life point counts. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. Very intense finals game. JCV keeping himself above water. GBO's Call to Haunt's going to come out. He's going to summon the Witch of the Black Forest in the graveyard. That battle phase is going to be Sangan is going to smack it. It's possibly a Sinister Oh, it's going to be Magician of Faith. It's going to be struck. Going to call back that Charity. Witch is going to go for a direct hit. JCVD is going to suffer a bit of battle damage. GBO getting this next back row card. Has to be very careful with this Charity. GBO could have set an Imperial Order and shut down any plays. The Crazy Charity is going to come out. Does GBO have a response? No, it's going to be a clean, graceful Charity. JCVD is going to dig into the deck for 3 cards. He's going to drop those 2 of them. One of them's going to be 1 Serpent and something else. That second discard. Gonna give some GBO some ideas of what JCVD has lined up. all the most of the critter monsters, the low hitter monsters are at JCVD's deck. He's gonna be left with the bruisers, the punchers, the monkey man, and the mask man. Thinking about his second discard, has to counteract a board of three hidden back row. Destroying that call is gonna get rid of Witch. It's gonna get that search off. Gonna discard that knock. The Kaiku is gonna be dropped on the board. There's no torrential tribute stare down, but JCVD could be walking into a Mirror Force. Battle phases come in. JC's gonna go and attack that Witch Black Force. The Mirror Force is gonna come and get rid of that Kaiku. GBO maintaining control. A lot of pressure with these two Searcher monsters, because as soon as they're destroyed, GBO will just call out more monsters from the deck. Very precarious situation for our friend Mr. JCVD93. JCVD still in the battle phase. He could be contemplating a set. Call the Honda is going to come out. GBO thinking, asking for a target. JCVD is going to call the Witch of the Black Forest out of the graveyard. GBO is going to think about this. He's going to use the. No, he's not going to respond. Could be contemplating a Mystical Space Typhoon, which may be giving away a set card on GBO's end. Is JC going to attack in... He's going to attack into Sangan. It's going to get GBO a search of a monster at 1500 attack or less. He could be digging out a Sinister Serpent from the deck with the result of that. There are no... Yeah, the Sinister Serpent's going to come right to the hand. That M2, that Forceful Sentry. Oh, he's going to come in, negate, nullify that search. He's going to put something back into GBO's deck. Counter. JCVD finally getting into his own hand rips, his own treasure cards. What's he going to throw back into GBO's deck? That Monster Reborn is going to be shoveled out, and Sinister Serpent is going to be left into the hand. JC cutting off GBO from those power spells until later on. That Monster Reborn could be buried in there for a long time, showing the power of Forceful Sentry. For no cost, putting the card back into the opponent's deck, arguably much stronger than, say, Confiscation, as you're cutting off the opponent's graveyard access. The Jar of Greed, GBO is going to pull an extra card out of the deck. Going to null that 1-for-1 from the Forceful Sentry. Charity's going to be coming in. GBO does have a Sinister Serpent. JCVD does not have his IO. That Serp is going to go right down to that grave. GBO's going to have to drop his other card too. Mizzou is going to be dumped into the grave. The Painful Choice is going to come in. GBO's going to shave 5 of those cards out of the deck. Going to have to get... JCD is going to have to let him have one of those. Them guys thinking super carefully about each move. Playing against these pro guys, it's no laughing matter. They'll punish your mistakes a lot harder than most others, because they've played those hundreds of thousands of games. They know how to thrive in these high pressure situations. They know ins and outs and ups and downs and arounds for given the format. JCD is going to let him have that MST. It's going to hit not the Call the Haunted, but that back row card in the middle. Gonna hit that Torrential Tribute. The Kaiku's gonna be dropped. GBO saving himself from a torrential blowout. Kaiku gonna strike in that Witch. That's going to hit 800 life points off JCVD. He's going to lose 2 cards out of his graveyard. That Sinister Serpent's out. Thinking about that next card to banish. Game 3 hasn't... I think all 3 games have been incredibly intense. This makes for an exciting finals. As someone who's streaming and hosting this final event, it makes it such an exciting experience to have it, like, be this, these close call battles. It's not as exciting when it's just a complete blowout. It's just not as fun. And it does happen in these formats, unfortunately. Some people can just open on the god hands, and then the game just becomes unwinnable from there. Even for the very skilled players, they can just be, your opponent can just draw the nuts and keep them under wraps. Anyway, that JCVD is going to get that search from the Witch of the Black Forest. Losing that 700 life points, losing that Bazoo, losing that Sinister Serpent. But JCVD is getting pretty low on the card counts for the deck, so he'll eventually be digging into those power cards like Change of Heart, like Snatch Steal. Those cards, he could be going for another Wombo combo to finish it off. Doesn't seem like GBO has got that Imperial Order in his arsenal. But he's getting super close to it, shaving off those 5 cards. JCVD probably, maybe looking for a Gemini Elf to wipe out that Kaiku. Possibly looking for his own Kaiku to get it if he digs into a power spell combo. That Witch is still be targeted by Call the Haunted if he gets that back row removal in. GBO will be down 1 extra monster. We'll be seeing what JCVD gets into. Could be getting to more copies of Magician of Faith, letting them recur some of those power spells. JCVD rocking the 3 Magician of Faith in his deck, so even if he loses some of those spell cards out, those Faith are going to recur. The Cyber Jar is going to be coming in. JCVD's not playing around. He wants to get that jar in motion. Can he do it? JCVD's going to lose 1,100 life points, down to 5,100. Draw standby main is the problem with Cyberjar in this situation is that it's going to be telegraphed. But JCVD could be setting another monster as a buffer. That Painful Choice of his own is going to be dropped. GBO is going to allow it. Painful Choice being one of the more skill-intensive cards of this format. Though it's completely busted going into chaos-related formats and when Graveyard becomes more insane. yeah, Cyberjar. I'm saying Painful Choice is one of the most skill-intensive cards in this in these formats because your opponent has the final say of what you add to your hand, and if you even have just like one card that's if you just choose one card that doesn't help, it can really hurt because then you just lose possibly lose those other 4 cards permanently. But the benefit of Painful Choice in here is that you're setting up your Skull Lairs and your Bazoos depending on what you drop. JCVD is going to be very careful about what he sends his graveyard. The first card is Gemini Elf. That Magician of Faith. The Torrential. The Trap Hole. Looking at that last card. The Jinzo. What's GBO going to let him have? If he's going to give him one of his trap cards, GBO might have an easy response to that. Jinzo's going to be added to the hand, possibly sniffing out a Premature Burial or a Monster Reborn on JCVD's side. But he could just simply use the Reborn to recur something like his own Witch of the Black Forest or Sangan to get that Tribute Summon and then get more cards out of the deck. Both players on relatively low deck counts. So if Cyberjar is going to go up in this situation, that's going to shave 5 more cards off the player's decks. That said card could be that Cyberjar, could be JCVD bluffing. Painful Reads deck. Absolutely. The other drawback of Painful Choice, your opponent just may have a response no matter what card you pull out. So it becomes a little bit of mind games because what your opponent adds depends on what they may have to respond to it. GBO going in, no fear. He's possibly going to smack into this Cyber J. He's going to smack right into it. GBO says, fuck it, we're going in. Whammo Kablamo and Sandal style. We're going to see the 5 banishes. GBO going to pull out that Kaiku, Io, Skull Lair, Raigeki, Jar of Greed. JCVD is going to pull out, if he's pulling out that Duo, that Kaiku, Buzzu, Morphing Jar, and RP3, that Morphing Jar is going to come out. We're going to get and see some more deck thinning. It depends on what JCVD decides what position they're in, because GBO could possibly just smack into that Morphing Jar and get more of that deck thinnage out. If he wants to, but if he doesn't, JCVD can use that Morphing Jar to his advantage. GBO does have a Witch of the Black Forest to resolve. The Kaiku is going to be in an attack position. It's going to add all those power cards to the hand. Just sending a little reminder to Raigeki from GBO's Oof JCV, yeah. That Raigeki's gonna come out, unfortunately, drawn from GBO's side. No chance of that Morphing Jar resolving. That's gonna clear that board of monsters. Maybe too. JBO's gonna set up that lineup. He's got that IO primed. He's got that Lair of Darkness. Sorry, that Skull Lair primed. That Jar of Greed primed. JCVD in another tough situation. Man, if I saw Spear Critting, yeah, that's just gonna come out. The IO is going to be fun, and then the MST is going to counter that Imperial Order, and Jar of Greed is going to be chained. It's going to wipe GBO's back row. The Duo is going to come. JCVD not worried about losing a bit of life points. It's going to knock those 2 cards out of GBO's hand. We're rolling dice. We're rolling dice for Duo. It's a goat format strats. Oh, and unlucky you're gonna hit that Sinister Serpent. But he's gonna drop. He was gonna drop that Gemini Elf. Gonna put him. Gonna even the card counts. That Change of Heart. Oh, GBO could be setting up a kill line once again. Gonna steal that Kaiku. Or just going for that direct hit. Smacking directly, banish those 2 cards, cut him off of that Serpent. Gonna be looking for that next card to get cut off. GBO still has that Monster Reborn, possibly a Premature Burial ready in the wings. Very important to... Very important about what he cuts off. Hasn't been a whole lot of banishing as this game as opposed to as the game 1. I'm in phase 2. GBO's gonna tribute that Kaiku for that Jinzo. But Jinzo is risky in this situation because GBO might have that snatch. GBO does have that snatch steal and Change of Heart still kicking around. And it could be lights out if JCVD made a bad call on this. We're down to the last few cards in each player's deck. That was JCVD's normal summon. He's gonna set a card. Is GBO gonna snatch and steal this? Bazoo's gonna be dropped. It's gonna clear it out. A change of heart's gonna come out. This could be the end of the game. Does GBO have an answer? Sorry, does JCVD have an answer? Is there a way out of this? No, and that's gonna be it for JCVD. That is going to be it. Ladies and gentlemen, GBO has secured his spot in the winning position, and he is our Millenium champion. Whew. Was that a Duel Monsters game, or was that a Duel Monsters game? Now we gotta check. I'm just gonna log out to Discord real quick. That was a very exciting game. Unfortunately, JCVD just couldn't keep him. He still got that runner-up position, but unfortunately he couldn't extend his way into the second match. GBO is going to secure it. He's going to be our winner. But yeah, I want to go through. Let's go. But we can kind of go through and see everything. Do we have any thoughts from the chat about this finals game? Thoughts about Joey-Pegasus, thoughts about this game in general, thoughts about the finalists? Share me your thoughts. We unfortunately cannot get GBO into the call here with us. But congrats to him. He's once again proven to be. He's once again showcased his incredible talent and ability to top events and perform in these high pressure situations. Nothing but respect for these guys. Very exciting to see two highly skilled players in a format like this that is deemed to be like just high variance in RNG. Unfortunately, like Joey-Pegasus is often deemed as like a meme format just because like too graceful charity, like I go burr, too graceful charity, haha, I win. And you do get those like blowout games. Well, you know what? You get a lot of those blowout games in a lot of these other formats, so there is some obvious skill expression shown here between these two guys. Otherwise, they wouldn't be frequent toppers. They wouldn't be up in this finals. If it was that high variance, yes, GBO going undefeated in that bracket. Really incredible stuff to see. I'm very happy to be able to witness and to be able to commentate and entertain you guys, the crowd, on this final match. I would love to hear the opinions also JCVD, but it seems both players had to run, so it is what it is anyway. Alright, Soul, since you're in the chat, what do you think is in store for the future of Millenium Charity, Joey-Pegasus format, and for possible turns going forward? What are your thoughts about this tournament and going into like future ones? Because it looks like you had a handful of people come in and join, and it looks like you even had like a variety of both like newer, like I won't say newer players, but like less experienced and like more experienced players. So feel free to leave your comments in the chat here for everyone to see. GBO, you're welcome, and congratulations on your new title. You have proven once again that you are an undisputed champion in these DM era formats, and well, not just DM era. I'm excited to see if you can make some magic in the GX era formats. Great to see an exciting match between you and JCVD, and Sol and I were wildly entertained. We had a lot of crazy moments, and there was an insane amount of skill expression, even in a format where spell cards go burr. And you, shout out to and shout to, like, I thought it was incredible the way you're able to play under IO like that. It's most players can get frustrated and tilted, and you know they just almost want to concede, but you kept your cool and you pushed on in. Yeah, there was some spice. There was some cooking going on. We did see a light base deck that was operating. That's true. There are a couple of Iron Chefs working their way in the tournament that were exciting to see. But yeah, anyways, I think I'm gonna like wrap things up here. I'm going to sign off as Oblada life goes on, and I'll see you guys around the Discord. I see you guys in future tournaments, and there'll be definitely more to come, I'd say. Anyway, I'm gonna cut the stream off here. See you guys around. GBO, congrats. JCVD did a great job. Amazing run through the lower bracket. Still a little bit salty that you knocked me out in my first game, but it is what it is. Have a good day, have a good night wherever you're from, and wherever you are. And yeah, no problem. Have a great day.